Hello everyone, and Genshin here. In my previous video, I already mentioned my main reason why I will quit Genshin is because the endgame content has never been a challenge again. While Genshin is an action RPG game, for me, I expect more from an action RPG games, especially in the combat experience, fight, or maybe challenge. But it's already been 3 years and the game itself never tends to create a challenge or test where players can test out their character's maximum potential and their own mechanical skill. Beside the challenge, Genshin Impact character are still amaze me a lot. So don't be wrong about that. The character kit seems to be more interesting as updates keep going on. I would give an honor to most characters after Sumeru update because most of their kit was amazing and brought a lot of variety of gameplay. Therefore, a lot of players will test their character in the hardest place in the game to test out their character maximum potential, right? The only place to test it was the Spiral Abyss. Spiral Abyss is still the only endgame content Genshin player has had for the past 3 years. It would not be a problem if they keep the Spiral Abyss as hard as possible. However, it remains easy until now. If we look if we look at the new Hoyoverse game, Honkai Star Rail, the game didn't even reach their first anniversary. But they already made Memory of Chaos, which is the endgame content, even harder by decreasing the amount of cycle to have a full star. Once, Memory of Chaos had 40 cycles to clear. To get a full star, you need to clear it within 20 cycles left, and no one died. So you have 20 cycles to clear it with full star. After that, they made it harder by decreasing the maximum cycle to 30 cycle only. And you need to clear it within with 18 cycles left to get a full star. But that was not enough. Right now, we only have 30 cycles only, and we need 30 cycles left to get a full star. So it means that you need to clear the Memory of Chaos with 10 cycle of the most, and no one of your character died in the battlefield. They also add two new floors to Memory of Chaos, which made it even more challenging. So, like in when Honkai Star released, the Member of Chaos was only 10 floors, but after 1.5 or 1.6 update, they add two new Memory of Chaos floor. Well, after adding two new floors to the Memory of Chaos, they even made another endgame content, and it was pure fiction. Honkai Star is not even reaching their first anniversary, but they already made the endgame content as hard as possible. Well, if you guys don't know, Member of Chaos and Pure Fiction is two different endgame content, where Member of Chaos is heavily focused on killing a boss, where Pure Fiction is heavily focused on dealing a consistent damage to normal enemies as they will keep spawning again and again, so we need to reach the maximum score. I mean, in brief, it's like that. But I'm not finished yet about the endgame content. They even have simulated universe like Swarm Disaster and Gold and Gears, which are also considered as challenging and fun content for the game, even though they are not an endgame content. So I can conclude that challenge is not all about permanent specific endgame, but it can also be a challenging stage or even like simulated universe, Storm Disaster, or Gold and Gears. So maybe the different genre of the game could be a problem because Genshin is an open world action RPG game and Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based RPG games. Maybe Honkai Star Rail endgame content was easier to make by the developer, but still I don't know why or behind the scenes about that. But that doesn't change the fact that Honkai Star Rail has better endgame content rather than Genshin, as a 3 years old game. So right now, let's compare Genshin with other games that have the same genre. And of course, I will bring it outside gacha games or game as a service. Previously, I have played some action RPG games like Monster Hunter series, Grand Blue Fantasy Reeling, and Elden Ring if we want to take it to the extreme example. Here's a proof of me playing uh, Monster Hunter series, Grand Blue Fantasy Reeling, and Elden Ring. This game I mentioned is not game as a service, which makes the game not getting a consistent feature update like most gacha games. But what makes this game interesting is because of the replayability. I can stop grinding Monster Hunter and Grand Blue Fantasy just to make my character stronger and stronger again, and test it out on a quest or hunt. Not just farming to get stronger armor or weapons or upgrading skills, the difficulty was also increased by the time we play. So the game also tests out our individual mechanics such as dodging, weapon combo, parry, and other things to make us survive on the battlefield. So good armor and weapons does not define whether we will succeed in a quest or not or hunt, but we also need a proper mechanic skill to use a weapon or characters, which defines our individual mechanics. Player investment in their mechanic skill and character will be paid off by the difficulty that the game provides. The difficulty of a quest or hunt will also impact how the player will play the game. Like in Monster Hunter, for example, on the endgame quest or hunt, most of the time you need to dodge or parry a monster attack. You cannot receive the damage just barely hand like that, because if you get hit by the monster, the damage is very big, and sometimes you get instant death or something. But in Genshin, well, you can take example on the current Spiral Beast, where the enemy bosses are Satek Wenut. Well, Satek Wenut as a boss, maybe not damaging our character very that much. We just need to deal a lot of damage to Satek Wenut to kill the boss. But Satek Wenut itself, like never damaging us along the battle. So it's more like hack and slash boss rather than an action RPG boss, because if it's an action RPG boss, we need to consider like dodging, taking our time to thinking. We cannot pull out any kind of we cannot like pull out any kind of uh nonsense movement or something. We need to have a proper timing in most of the condition. But in Taekwondo, it's like a hack and slash boss, you know. You just need to deal as much as damage as you could to the boss without even thinking that the boss will kill you or something. That's why I'm not saying this on Genshin for the past 3 years as an action RPG games. Well, honestly, even an elite monster like this elemental monster or boss when Sumeru updates can deal more damage than the boss could. You know, it was harder to fight the elite enemies, the elite monster, rather than fighting um boss, because when you fighting this elite monster, these enemies are not also tanky, but they can deal a lot of damage to our character, and we need to think about how we survive when we fight them. But for the boss, it was like we just giving out our damage as maximum as possible, you know. And yeah, I'm not saying this kind of challenge when we fight boss in Genshin for the past 3 years. Yes, like I said, they provide the hardest challenge once in the Spiral Abyss, when there is a elemental monster like this, but they cannot consistently provide spiral abyss like this uh, until right now. Well, that's all from me. I mean, yeah, thank you for listening from what I'm talking for the past of this video. You can leave a like if you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this. See you guys on the other video.